and welcome to Valley Homes on TV. I'm Debbie Giordano, and along with Todd Flesner.
Hello.
Hello. We're here to give you what's going on around the Milpitas and local community events and different individuals that impact the community. And you can see us right here on Channel 26. Our show airs on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. and a couple other times, too, during the week you can catch us. So a lot of fun. We've been doing this for, I bet we're close to 10 years now, something like that.
It's been a while. So we enjoy doing this, bringing folks different things from around the community.
We do. So you brought a guest today.
I certainly did. I'd love to introduce folks to David Grandey. Thanks, David, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, David's with an organization or a company called Built with Principle. And so we're going to talk a little bit today about construction, but in particular, their focus is on the commercial construction industry. And so there's a lot happening around Milpitas. There's a lot happening in this valley. So we thought it'd be good information for folks to understand what's happening in that arena. So welcome, David.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, so we'd like to start off just give our audience a chance to know a little bit about you. So tell us a bit about your background, where you grew up, perhaps went to school.
Sure. I've been in San Jose since I was 6. My father used to teach at the University of Illinois and wanted to get out of education in terms of schools and get into education in terms of corporations. So he got a job with Control Data out here in the 70s, moved us all out here.
They were big.
Yeah. It was very exciting because at the time it was one of the largest and tallest buildings in San Jose, right there by the airport there. So we were excited going up there to, check out the planes taking off and stuff. So I've been here since I was 6. Went to school at San Jose State, a degree in advertising, and I did a lot of internships during college. And one of my last internships was with a PR firm. Local PR firm here, and I started working with them, had the privilege of working with them for 10 years, did a lot of construction work for construction clients like Tennisketter and Block Construction, DevCon, which is here in Milpitas, and also did a lot of financial services clients and stuff, so got a good understanding of the big companies here that are local and are impacting our community. Went to work for Silicon Valley Bank as their Director of Public Relations, worked there for a while, and then went over to credit union, Merrill West Credit Union, the former IBM credit union, as their Director of Corporate Communications. And then I got a call from a friend of mine who has a construction company. It was a landscape construction business, and he needed someone to do his marketing and business development and learn construction and help him bring in construction jobs. And I'm like, that's something different, something I haven't done, and so let's do it.
Great.
So I did that for about 5 years, and then I ran into the good folks at Built with Principle, Frank and Jill Hageman, and got to know Frank, and same thing. He was like, we need someone to do our business development, and it's, as hopefully we'll talk about soon, it's a great company, and it's a great opportunity, and so I've been doing that for about 1.5 years now.
Okay, so you've been here since you were 6.
Correct.
And what keeps you here? What do you like about the Bay Area?
The Bay Area is, well, first off, the weather. You can't really beat the weather, although lately it's been a little a little crazy, but the weather's perfect. I love to do stuff outdoors. I'm an avid cyclist, so there's all kinds of great roads to go on, and where you don't have to go very far to get lost into another world, basically, and really have a good time enjoying nature, and just all the fun things there is to do too. A lot of entertainment and sports, and we've got great facilities for all that. So.
Do you ever go back to the football games at San Jose State? Or?
I do. I try to. It's more of a social thing. Going into the Gold Room and hanging out with the donors and stuff, and some folks that have been fans for a long time. That's really great. Yeah.
Great. So. Hey, well, it's good to get to know a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit more about Built with Principle. What sort of work do you do with that organization, and what's Built with Principle all about?
Yeah, so I do business development and marketing for them. And Built with Principle is a commercial general contractor. We've been Built with Principle for 5 years, and But prior to that, the principals have had experience in construction for a long time. It was founded by Frank Hageman, who used to work for Vanderson Construction back in the day, and then ended up being a director of real estate for a large healthcare corporation, doing national build-outs for them. So building new buildings, doing tenant improvements all across the country. But he was really frustrated with a lot of the general contractors he was working with, and his wife Jill says, "Well, why don't you start your own company? One that you would hire." Right. And so after much debate, I'm sure they finally decided to do that. And so Frank is our COO, Jill Hageman is our president and CEO, and the whole genesis of our company is based on 4 core values: quality construction, ethical business practices, solid relationships, and inspirational employees. And all that was generated based on Frank's experience with general contractors, the good experiences and the not so good.
So you've been in business for 5 years,
right?
You said, and so actually you got this uptick, this swing of new construction, all the boom that's been happening in the valley.
Sure.
After everything kind of went busted back in 06, 07, 08, something like that. We had a big downturn. So who would be your typical clients?
Well, we do a lot of healthcare customers right now, private education, retail, general office. So about half of our business is ground up construction, typically new buildings that are going into an existing parking lot, and then the other half is tenant improvements.
Okay. Are there any trends that you're seeing, in the environment now around commercial construction, commercial development?
Yeah, one of the biggest trends we're seeing is retail, and retail changing how it's being used. So Amazon and other online shopping places are having a big impact on retail. So you're seeing traditional retail stores either migrate to being online or downsize their space a little bit. And that's opening up some opportunities for healthcare companies to come in and be more accessible and get away from the big stodgy hospital complex, center, and going out to the communities that they serve and bringing in outpatient services to that community. So a lot of urgent care centers, dialysis centers, we're seeing a lot of that. That's for sure. The other one is the Central Valley is exploding. Modesto, Ceres, Turlock, that entire 99 corridor. As companies are moving out there. I mean, the number one thing for companies when they're surveyed about working here and having their business here is their biggest concern is the affordability of housing and the ability for their employees to live here. Right. So they're doing things. Various entities in the community are doing things to make housing more affordable and make it attractive for employees to work here. But there's companies are also realizing that it's more affordable also in other areas, so they're moving their businesses out there. And then technology is kind of driving it where employees can work from home certain days. And so as companies migrate out there or make it easier for people to live out there, they need services. They need retail, they need healthcare, they need office space.
So we talked about that. Did you talk about your specialty then? What would that be?
So our specialty really it centers around our 4 core values. Everything we do is based on those core values. The employees we hire, the customers we take on, the subcontractors we work with is based on those. But the other big thing is, the biggest expense for a company outside of payroll is real estate. Their office space, and it shouldn't be an expense. It should be an investment. It should be return on investment. So what we try to do, we take that approach. We want to give you the best return on your investment. And most of our customers hire us not just to do the construction, but to manage the entire real estate of their office. So we help them find space. We help them negotiate the lease or the terms of the sale. Okay. We bring in the architect. We bring in the financing if need be. And then obviously we do the construction. So we bring that whole approach because all that matters to companies is getting their product out there as much as possible and being able to leverage all their assets so they can generate as much revenue.
And so if I may ask then, and that leads into, so I'm sure time is of the essence. Correct. Time is money. So what kind of time frames do you work under what kind of constraints there? Yeah,
well, so we have a very tight job schedule. We're very one of our core values being ethical business practices. Everything is right there in front of them. They know what everything costs. They know exactly who the team's going to be. They know the schedule up front, and we work to that schedule. We have weekly job site meetings with the client every single week, same day, same time, going through the schedule, where we're at, monitoring the quality of our project. So schedule's a big thing.
Big thing.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there's time as a portion of what you look at, as well as, I think, the quality of what you do. So how do you manage or work with quality, ensuring that you're living up to those core principles of the organization?
Yeah, that's the one caveat. The schedule's important and budget's important, but we'll never accomplish that at the expense of quality construction. Because at the end of the day, the companies need a building that's operational, that they don't have to hassle with. They don't have to callbacks or anything, that they can be proud of and maximize their service to the community. So quality construction is a big thing. So we do, we have the weekly meetings. We also do a quality log where at that meeting we go through each scope and rate how we're doing, how we did last week on that. And the one nice thing about construction, it's pretty obvious if someone's doing a good job and if they're not. It's not like you have to go through emails and memos and try to uncover something. It's pretty obvious if the glazing was done right and the door was installed right. So it's fun, and we have various tools that we use to keep.
So what would be some typical challenges that you face? In my view, I would think bureaucracy. You have to pull permits and have to get meet certain regulations and building codes or whatever. I would think those would be some hurdles.
Well, those are usually addressed up front with the design team, and we have most of our customers and the team we use, the design team and the subcontractors we use, we've been working together for a long time, working on multiple projects. So that's pretty turnkey. If we see something in the design or the scope that may trigger extra permitting time or whatever, we're going to talk about that right up front and what that means and make sure that there's no surprises there. I would say our biggest challenge is probably the same challenges that most companies have, and that's finding good people. It's particularly in construction. It's really hard to find good people, and for us, it's really, really important. Going back to our 4 core values, we're not going to hire someone and say, "Hey, look, we filled the position. We hired somebody." We're going to take our time and do it right and make sure that this person's really the right.
Well, it's a reflection of your company and correct, yeah.
Yeah, so it's challenging to find people like that because you find a good person but they've got other opportunities too. Right. So you have to compete with that. And,
well, good. So what are the rewards of what you do?
I think hands down our best reward. We've been fortunate to work with some really good companies that are not just building a building and operating a building, but they're providing value to the community. So we work with dialysis centers, and so making healthcare more accessible and more affordable. We just completed a project for an access surgery center that basically the prior to them existing, you had to go stay overnight in a hospital. It cost $30,000 or something like that to do this procedure, and now it's an outpatient.
Wow.
You don't have to stay overnight, and the cost is more like $2,000 or $3,000. So it's like 1/10 the cost, no overnight stay. So that's a very unique thing that we take pride in offering. We're also we'd like to work for companies that are unique and have a good story, and so we're starting work for a food distribution or food laboratory company. They have a kind of a cool job. They get to taste test basically and develop recipes for various foods. So they've done all the recipes for Round Table Pizza, Twinkies.
What? They have any part-time openings?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
Todd.
That would be I would love to do that. So it's kind of fun going in there and seeing how they do that. And I mean, a lot of the foods that we see in the grocery stores, they've had some part of that. So that's what I like about it is being able to tell a story about what we're doing for our customers and seeing the direct impact it has on the community.
Okay,
Yeah,
so final question. So goals, objectives. What does the future look like for you and your company?
Well, we want to be a company like I've been talking about, where we want to continue to provide a valuable service to our community, and so we have revenue goals, we have sales goals, and we've been fortunate enough to be doubling every year. We're thinking this year it's going to be a banner year. We could quadruple our business this year, but really what's important to us is just being focused on being the best company we can be, and looking for those companies that are also doing a good service in the community that we can get involved with. And if we do that, business will come. Most of our business is from repeat customers, and we take pride in that, and we want to continue that.
Terrific. Someone has questions. How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so Built with Principle is the name of the company. So the website is Built, BUILT, and then with, and then Principle, PRINCIPLE. And the phone number is 669-236-4105.
Perfect.
Terrific. Well, David, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, yes.
You guys have got a great organization, great reputation in the 5 years you've been in business.
Yes,
I know you've
yes.
got a lot of success ahead of you.
Yes,
So
good.
thank you so much for coming.
Yep, no problem.
Wish
Appreciate
you
it.
continued success too. Thank you.
Thank you.
We had been called up for the first time. Wildfires were getting close to homes. At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is.
Be there for your community at NationalGuard.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're here at Valley Homes on TV. I'm Debbie Giordano, Todd Flesner. So we're here to talk about what's been going on about in the Milpitas real estate market, local economy. We're wrapping up the end of February, actually. So 2 months into the year.
Yes.
A lot's happened.
It has been a busy start of the year, hasn't it?
It has. Not real estate, but the economy. It's been very up and down with the Trump administration, and a lot of things going on nationally and globally.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of change in the air, right? That's the result of our most recent election here. I think it's probably the one word I would say that we're in the midst of change, a little bit of turmoil with that, and probably more of the uncertainty that comes with that. There's a little bit of the Trump bump that we've had with the stock market, and that's resulted in a little bit higher interest rates as a result as well.
So when the stock market goes up, then you can expect interest rates to go up also, Todd?
Typically,
the
yes.
lever?
That's pretty typical. And it's really a matter of investors and what they're looking at in terms of the options that are available in the market for where do they put their money. Is it going to the stock market, which has got a little bit of a level of risk that goes with the reward there, versus perhaps the safety of a bond. And mortgages really are backed by a specific bond, a mortgage-backed security, but it's a form of a bond which pays a predictable income over the course of time.
Okay.
And so it's that safety and security on the bond end versus the risk and reward on the stock market end.
So where are we at with interest rates today?
Well, we're up about 0.75% from our all-time lows, before the election. So historically, still great. We're in the 4.25 range, depending upon the loan, depending upon credit scores, and so I always have to kind of qualify that. Your situation may be unique, but in general, we're still in the low 4s, which is historically a great rate.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Well, the real estate market, we have got extreme low inventory. And I probably haven't seen that. I mean, it's been low for years,
right,
but it's extremely low, like drought low. I actually got a contract accepted yesterday for a buyer. We were able to go in. We offered $100,000 over list price
My goodness.
to get that accepted. So
How many other offers with that?
it went on in 24 hours on MLS, and we're able to get in and do a preemptive offer, and the seller actually took it. We were
Okay.
very lucky. They didn't even wait for the open house weekend. So,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, that's how strong we went in and wanted that property. So I'm seeing open house activity is good. The one on the listing I had a few weeks ago where 200 families had gone through. So plenty of buyers. I guess you're seeing that with your pre-approvals.
I am.
And they're just not able to latch on and find properties. But I think that's going to start to shift and change a little bit. I think some sellers have been holding back, waiting for that right moment, and obviously the moment is here. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely feel the demand into things from buyers, right? So that's, I'm on that early end of the spectrum in terms of folks coming into the market when I'm working with getting people pre-approved. And so that demand is definitely there. And folks are hoping and anticipating that the supply is going to pick up as we enter into, more of the warm weather, selling season. We're in an extremely wet year, as we know, with record rainfalls, and so
It might take an effect a little bit on the market.
Right.
So I attend the weekly broker meetings that we have locally here at North Valley, and agents are talking about homes that they're preparing and getting ready and bringing them to the market. So hopefully we'll see, and that's going to, with more inventory, more of a balanced market. It's still a little out of kilter right now.
Right.
A lot more buyers than there are sellers, and that's going to translate again to a push up of prices, which we're at such an all-time high. And our speaker, our guest David Grandey, talked about the affordable housing issue here locally for employees and people that he works with, and that's just it's a very difficult situation to live and work here in the Valley.
It is, and we have some very high earning capacity folks that live in this valley, but there's a diversity of different types of housing needs that we're here, and that's the challenge, right, for people of all economic spectrums in this valley, and and that's one of the things that I enjoy is the opportunity to work with folks who have that goal of home ownership, and right, helping to find ways that they might be able to achieve that.
Yes.
But we do know this is a challenge.
It is a challenge.
Yeah.
So how about some numbers?
Yeah, let's talk about
Let's talk about numbers. So I'm looking at January 2016, a year ago. We had an average price in Milpitas of $846,000, single-family home, and a median price of $795,000, and that has jumped to last month, January 2017. Multiple listing posted an average price of $930,000. That's actually a little bit of a drop than I gave before. Remember that peaked almost near $1 million.
It did, yes.
And then it's dropped down a little bit. And then the median price is $835,000. Condos, let's look and see how much they've gone in growth, equity growth. January 2016, $608,000 for an average price. Median price, $540,000. And that has jumped to average price last month of $781,000 for both average price and median price. Might be a misprint here to have the exact duplicate, but we'll take that for a fact. So that's that. And I also want to talk about average days on market. In January 2016, there was 23 days on market, and now it's just jumped a day, 24 days on market for single families. And condos, 13 days on market, so fast market last year, 2016, and that has jumped a little bit higher. We're at 19 days on market, and that is just an incredible
So
amount.
when you say days on market, what does that really measure?
That measures at the time that it's actually listed on multiple listing to the time that it goes into pending sale,
Okay.
where the seller has actually taken an offer and they post it as a pending.
Okay.
It's like the deal I put together yesterday was 24 hours
Right.
days on market. So,
So,
that was kind of
well,
rare.
we might expect that number will drop then as, as a
Yeah, that
result.
number's going to really factor into that average price. Great. So you still recommend buyers to come to you and get pre-approved first before
Absolutely.
they get out there and walk around open houses?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, understand what your buying power is, understand what your budget is, and how that's going to impact what you'll look at in terms of housing.
Great.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, we've got a nice spring season coming, and I'm excited to see what kind of real estate activity locally here we'll have in Milpitas next
Yeah.
couple months and report that out for folks.
Terrific. And we're hoping that we'll see more homes come on the market.
Absolutely.
So if folks have questions about the real estate market,
Yep, or the show, they can email me at giordanodj@aol.com. And
Terrific.
Todd, loans?
T. Flesner at opusadvisors.com.
Beautiful. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.